Hi, Kevin Corcoran here, broker owner at RE/MAX of Gulf Shores. We're honored that you've chosen a RE/MAX of Gulf Shores professional to assist you in the buying process of finding the perfect property for you. We've created this video in order to highlight some of the changes that have taken place in the buyer and buyer's agency relationship after August the 17th, when the National Association of Realtors lawsuit rules went into effect. Now, we cannot legally show you property without having a prior written buyer's agency agreement in place that states the maximum compensation a buyer's agent can receive. Now, that's not all that different from before, because at RE/MAX of Gulf Shores, it's always been our policy to show you property with a written buyer's agency agreement in place. That way we can offer the full extent of our services to you as a real estate professional. This buyer's agency agreement is indeed a contract between you and the buyer's agent, and it designates the agent as the buyer's exclusive agent for the purpose of assisting buyer in locating acceptable real property for purchase. Furthermore, it defines the covered property that you're going to be looking for. It can be in specific as one piece of property, or it can define a range of properties that will meet your criteria. The changes really take place in paragraph 9 of the agreement. Paragraph 9 points out that broker compensation is not set by law or by any realtor association. It's fully negotiable. Paragraph 9 continues that the buyer's agent shall be compensated in one of three ways. The first is as a retainer. The second is a percentage of the gross sales price, probably what you're most familiar with. And the third is as a flat fee. Most importantly, paragraph 9 goes on to say that the buyer authorizes buyer's agent to first seek this compensation from the seller or the listing agent in order to reduce the amount that you may own to the buyer. Now, as this process continues and we narrow it down to one specific property, then we'll reach out to that listing agent to find out what the seller or the listing agent is willing to compensate the buyer's agent, thus further reducing any amount that you may owe. Historically, it's always been said that the buyer's agent compensation comes from the seller's proceeds. While technically this is true, all the money has and always will come from you, the buyer's funds. Without you wiring or your mortgage company wiring funds to the title company, nobody gets paid. Listing agent, buying agent, seller, title company, you name it. Without those buyer's funds, nobody gets paid. So that's really where the compensation comes from. This video was not intended to replace a candid conversation we encourage you to have with your buyer's agent to determine the best decision for you as a team. We hope this video has answered questions for you, and maybe it'll spark a great conversation between you and your agent. Once again, we thank you for choosing a RE/MAX of Gulf Shores agent to be your buyer's representation. Now let's go out there and find that perfect property.